Dr. Amelia Rees hunched over her computer terminal, eyes scanning endless streams of data. For years, she had searched the cosmos for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence, driven by an unwavering belief that humanity couldn't be alone in the universe. A sudden spike in the data stream caught her attention. Amelia's heart raced as she focused on the anomaly, her fingers flying across the keyboard to isolate and amplify the signal. As the pattern became clearer, she realized this was no random cosmic noise or distant pulsar, it was a message. Dr. Hernandez. Amelia called out, her voice trembling with excitement. I think you need to see this. Dr. Carlos Hernandez, the veteran astronomer who had mentored Amelia since her days as a promising graduate student, hurried over. His eyes widened as he took in the display. Dios mío, he whispered, is this what I think it is? Amelia nodded, barely able to contain her excitement. It's a prime number sequence, Carlos. And look at the regularity. This can't be natural. For hours, they worked feverishly to decode the message, calling in colleagues from around the world as the magnitude of their discovery became clear. When they finally cracked the alien cipher, the content of the message left them stunned. People of Earth, Amelia read aloud, her voice echoing through the now crowded control room. We are the Zephyrians, a civilization in dire need of your assistance. Our world faces an unprecedented crisis, and our research indicates that humans possess unique qualities that may be our salvation. We humbly request a delegation from Earth to visit our planet. Coordinates and technological specifications but interstellar travel follow. The room erupted into a cacophony of excited chatter and disbelief. Amelia sat back in her chair, her mind reeling. Humanity had just made first contact, and against all expectations, the aliens were asking for our help. News of the alien message spread like wildfire across the globe. Governments scrambled to respond, religious leaders debated the theological implications, and the scientific community worked around the clock to verify the signal's authenticity and decipher the technological information included. Within days, the United Nations convened an emergency session to address the Zephyrian request. The debate was fierce, with some nations advocating for immediate action, while others urged caution. Dr. Rees found herself thrust into the spotlight, testifying before the UN Security Council about the nature of the message and its implications. As she stood at the podium, facing the most powerful leaders on Earth, Amelia felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Distinguished representatives, she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. The message we've received represents an unprecedented opportunity for humanity. The Zephyrians have not only proven the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence, but have also reached out to us specifically for aid. This suggests that our species possesses qualities or capabilities that are unique in the galaxy, a testament to human potential and ingenuity. She paused, looking around the chamber. However, we must also approach this situation with caution. While the message appears peaceful, we know nothing about Zephyrian culture, biology, or true intentions. Any mission to their world would carry significant risks. The debate raged on for days, but eventually a consensus emerged. Earth would answer the Zephyrian call for help, sending a diverse team of experts to represent humanity. The next challenge was selecting the crew and preparing them for an interstellar journey using technology far beyond current human capabilities. A global effort unlike anything in history was launched. The brightest minds from every field were recruited, from astrophysicists and engineers to linguists and diplomats. Among them was Dr. Rees, whose expertise in xenocommunication made her an essential part of the mission. As the Earth prepared for its greatest adventure, Amelia found herself working closely with Commander Jason Chen, the decorated astronaut chosen to lead the expedition. His calm demeanor and strategic mind complemented Amelia's scientific enthusiasm. Dr. Rees, Chen said during one of their briefings, I need to know we can trust this alien intel. The lives of my crew depend on it. Amelia met his gaze steadily. Commander, I've staked my entire career on this data. The Zephyrian specifications check out. Their science is centuries ahead of ours, but it's based on principles we understand. This is real, and it's our best shot at making history. Chen nodded, a hint of a smile crossing his face. Then let's make it count. As the launch date approached, the chosen crew underwent intensive training. They learned to operate technology that seemed like magic, preparing for scenarios no human had ever faced. The weight of their responsibility, to represent Earth, to help an alien civilization, to push the boundaries of human achievement, was immense. On the eve of the launch, Amelia stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed interstellar vessel, staring out at the stars that would soon be her roadmap. She thought of all the generations of humans who had looked up at the night sky and dreamed of this moment. Nervous? Commander Chen's voice startled her from her reverie. Terrified, Amelia admitted with a small laugh, but also more excited than I've ever been. Chen nodded, understanding in his eyes. We're about to do something no human has ever done before. It's okay to be scared. But remember, the Zephyrians called us for a reason. Whatever challenges we face out there, we'll face them with the best of what humanity has to offer. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Amelia felt a surge of determination. Whatever lay ahead, she and her crewmates would meet it with courage, curiosity, and the unyielding spirit that had driven humanity to reach for the stars. The interstellar ship, christened the HSS Odyssey, stood gleaming on the launch pad, a testament to human ingenuity and the promise of a new era. As Amelia and the crew took their positions, the countdown began. The fate of two worlds now rested in their hands. The HSS Odyssey streaked through the cosmos, its revolutionary propulsion system bending the fabric of space-time in ways that would have seemed impossible mere months ago. Inside the ship, the crew of 12 elite specialists from Earth worked tirelessly to prepare for their encounter with the Zephyrians. Dr. Amelia Rees stood in the ship's observatory, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of colors outside. The view was unlike anything she had ever seen, a kaleidoscope of light that defied description. She felt a presence behind her and turned to see Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's phenobiologist, approach. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Yuki said, her voice filled with wonder. "I never imagined I'd see anything like this in my lifetime." Amelia nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "It's almost too much to take in, and to think we're the first humans to ever witness this." Their moment of shared awe was interrupted by the ship's intercom. "All hands to the bridge," Commander Chen's voice echoed through the corridors. "We're approaching the coordinates provided by the Zephyrians." As the crew assembled on the bridge, tension filled the air. They had trained extensively for this moment, but nothing could truly prepare them for first contact with an alien civilization. "Status report," Chen ordered, his calm demeanor a steadying influence on the team. Dr. Marcus Wong, the ship's chief engineer, spoke up. "All systems are functioning within normal parameters, Commander. The Zephyrian drive technology is performing beyond our wildest expectations." "Communications are ready," added Lieutenant Sofia Rodriguez, her fingers hovering over her console. "We're prepared to broadcast on all frequencies provided in the Zephyrian message." Chen nodded, his eyes scanning the crew. "Dr. Reeves, are you ready to make first contact?" Amelia took a deep breath, steadying herself. "As ready as I'll ever be, Commander." "Very well." Lieutenant Rodriguez, open a channel. As Sophia worked her controls, Amelia stepped forward. The weight of history pressed down on her shoulders as she prepared to speak the first words from humanity to an alien civilization. "Greetings, people of Zephyria," she began, her voice clear and steady. "This is Dr. Amelia Rees of the human starship Odyssey. We have received your message and have come to offer our assistance. Please respond on this frequency." Seconds stretched into minutes as the crew waited in tense silence. Just as doubt began to creep in, the communications array crackled to life. "Human starship Odyssey, this is Zephyrian Control," a melodious voice responded, its alien cadence translated by the ship's advanced linguistics software. "We welcome you to our system. Please proceed to the coordinates we are transmitting for docking." A collective sigh of relief washed over the bridge. First contact had been made, and it seemed peaceful so far. As the Odyssey approached the designated coordinates, the crew got their first glimpse of Zephyria. The alien world was a swirling mass of purples and greens, its atmosphere shimmering with an otherworldly glow. In orbit around the planet was a massive space station, its design unlike anything humans had ever conceived. "It's incredible," breathed Dr. Elena Volkov, the team's physicist. "The energy readings from that station, it's like nothing I've ever seen." Commander Chen's voice cut through the amazement. "Stay focused, everyone. We don't know what to expect. Dr. Reeves, Dr. Tanaka, you'll join me for the initial meeting. The rest of you remain on high alert." As the Odyssey docked with the Zephyrian station, Amelia felt her heart racing. Years of searching the stars had led to this moment. The airlock cycled, and with a hiss, the door opened to reveal their alien hosts. The Zephyrians were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer and change color. Their large, almond-shaped eyes regarded the humans with an intelligence that was unmistakable. One of the aliens stepped forward, raising a six-fingered hand in what appeared to be a gesture of greeting. "I am Xandar, lead counselor of Zephyria," it said, its voice resonating with a musical quality. "On behalf of our people, I welcome you to our world." Amelia stepped forward, mirroring the gesture. "Counselor Xandar, I am Dr. Amelia Reeves. We are honored to be here and eager to learn how we might assist your people." Xandar's expression shifted, displaying what Amelia interpreted as relief. "We are grateful for your swift response to our call, Dr. Reeves. The situation on our world is dire, and time is of the essence." As the Zephyrians led the human delegation deeper into the station, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at the advanced technology surrounding them. Holographic displays flickered with incomprehensible data, and strange devices hummed with energy. They entered a large chamber that appeared to be a sort of council room. Xandar gestured for them to sit at a circular table, its surface coming to life with swirling patterns as they approached. "Please, tell us of the crisis your people face," Commander Chen said, his diplomatic training coming to the fore. "How can Earth help?" Xandar's colors shifted to a deep, somber blue. "Our world is dying," the alien said, its voice heavy with sorrow. "A catastrophic event has destabilized our planet's core. We have perhaps a standard solar cycle before Zephyria becomes uninhabitable." The humans exchanged shocked glances. The scale of the disaster was beyond anything they had imagined. "But surely, with your advanced technology, you must have a solution," Dr. Tanaka asked, her scientific curiosity piqued. Xandar's colors swirled in what seemed to be frustration. "We have tried everything within our power. Our science, advanced as it is, has failed us. That is why we reached out to your species." "I don't understand," Amelia said, leaning forward. "What can we possibly offer that your civilization doesn't already possess?" The alien's gaze fixed on Amelia, its eyes seeming to peer into her very soul. "Hope, Dr. Reeves. You can offer us hope. Your species has faced extinction-level events throughout your history and always found a way to survive, to adapt. It is this resilience, this indomitable spirit, that we need now more than ever." As the weight of the Zephyrians' request settled over them, Amelia realized that this mission had become far more than a scientific expedition or a diplomatic endeavor. They now held the fate of an entire civilization in their hands. Commander Chen straightened in his chair, his expression resolute. "Counselor Xandar, you have our word that we will do everything in our power to help your people. The best minds of Earth are at your disposal." As Xandar's colors shifted to a vibrant, hopeful green, Amelia felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The challenge before them was immense, but so was the opportunity. Here, at the edge of known space, humanity would have the chance to prove its worth among the stars. The descent to Zephyria's surface was a journey through an alien dreamscape. The Odyssey's crew watched in awe as they passed through layers of shimmering atmosphere, each more vibrant than the last. Dr. Amelia Reeves pressed her face against the viewport, drinking in every detail of the alien world. "It's beautiful," she whispered, her breath fogging the glass. "But I can see why they're worried." Commander Chen nodded grimly. Even from this altitude, the signs of planetary distress were evident. Massive fissures scarred the landscape, glowing with an ominous red light. In the distance, towering structures that must have been Zephyrian cities seemed to sway and shift, as if struggling to maintain their form against the planet's increasing instability. As their shuttle touched down on a landing pad outside the Zephyrian capital, the human team was struck by the gravity of the situation. The air itself seemed charged with an underlying tension, and even the sturdy ground beneath their feet occasionally trembled with unsettling tremors. Sandar and a delegation of Zephyrian scientists met them as they disembarked. "Welcome to Zephyria," the alien counselor said, its colors a mix of welcome and worry. "We have prepared our central research facility for your use. Time is of the essence." The humans were led through the alien city, marveling at the organic architecture that seemed to breathe and pulse with life. Despite the clear advancements of Zephyrian technology, there was an underlying current of fear among the populace. Alien eyes followed the human delegation, filled with a mix of curiosity and desperate hope. At the research facility, the Earth team was introduced to their Zephyrian counterparts. The alliance of two worlds' brightest minds was about to be put to the ultimate test. Dr. Elena Volkov immediately gravitated towards the facility's central holographic display, her eyes widening as she took in the complex simulations of Zephyria's planetary core. "The instability is far worse than we imagined," she muttered, her fingers dancing across the alien interface as if she'd been using it all her life. Dr. Marcus Wong was already deep in discussion with a group of Zephyrian engineers, comparing notes on the intricacies of their world's technology. "Your energy systems are incredible," he exclaimed, "but I think I see where we might be able to help." As the scientists and engineers dove into their work, Amelia found herself drawn to a quiet corner of the facility where a lone Zephyrian stood, staring out at the troubled landscape. Something about its posture spoke of a deep melancholy. "Hello," Amelia said softly, approaching the alien. "I'm Dr. Amelia Reeves. May I join you?" The Zephyrian turned, its colors shifting to a soft, welcoming blue. "Greetings, Dr. Reeves. I am Lyrina, Chief Historian of Zephyria. Your arrival has given our people new hope, but I fear it may be too late." Amelia's brow furrowed. "What do you mean? Surely with our combined knowledge, we can find a solution." Lyrina's colors darkened. "Perhaps. But even if we do, so much has already been lost. Our oldest cities, our most sacred sites, swallowed by the planet's unrest. I fear that even if we survive, the soul of Zephyria may be lost forever." The historian's words struck a chord in Amelia. She realized that their mission wasn't just about saving lives, it was about preserving a culture, a history, a way of life. "Lyrina," she said, an idea forming, "would you be willing to work with me? While the others focus on saving the planet, perhaps we can work on saving Zephyria's cultural heritage." The alien's colors brightened with interest. "You would do this, even with the fate of our world hanging in the balance." Amelia nodded firmly. "On Earth, we have a saying, where there's life, there's hope. By preserving your culture, we give your people something to fight for, to look forward to. It could make all the difference." As Amelia and Lyrina set to work, the research facility became a hive of frenetic activity. Human and Zephyrian minds worked in tandem, pushing the boundaries of both their sciences. Days blurred into weeks as the team worked tirelessly. Progress was made, but for every problem solved, new challenges emerged. The planet's core continued to destabilize, and time was running out. One evening, as exhaustion began to set in, a heated argument broke out between Dr. Volkov and her Zephyrian counterpart, Zinra. Your models are flawed, Volkov exclaimed, her frustration evident. You're not accounting for quantum fluctuations in the core's magnetic field. Zinra's colors flashed angrily. And your Earth physics fails to consider the unique properties of Zephyrian elemental composition. We've been studying our world for millennia. Do not presume to know it better than we do. The room fell silent, the tension palpable. It was Commander Chen who stepped forward, his calm voice cutting through the discord. Enough, he said firmly. This is precisely why we're here, to combine our knowledge, not to argue over whose science is superior. Dr. Volkov, Zinra, I want you to go back to basics. Assume nothing. Question everything. Find the common ground between our understanding of physics and build from there. The two scientists looked chastened but determined. They nodded in agreement and returned to their work with renewed focus. As the days wore on, small breakthroughs began to accumulate. Dr. Wong and his team developed a way to reinforce the Zephyrian cities against the increasingly violent tremors. Dr. Tanaka made a crucial discovery about the planet's unique biology that opened new avenues for stabilizing the ecosystem. And in their quiet corner, Amelia and Lyrina worked tirelessly to digitize and preserve as much of Zephyria's cultural heritage as possible. They created a vast database of history, art, and knowledge that could survive even if the worst came to pass. But despite their progress, the planet's condition continued to worsen. Evacuations of the most dangerous areas had begun, and the fear among the Zephyrian population was palpable. It was during one particularly bleak moment, as the team watched another Zephyrian city succumb to the planet's unrest, that Amelia made a startling realization. We've been looking at this all wrong, she whispered, her eyes widening. What do you mean? Commander Chen asked, turning to her with a mix of exhaustion and hope. Amelia's mind raced as she pieced together the puzzle. We've been trying to force Earth solutions onto a Zephyrian problem. But what if we embrace the difference? What if the key to saving Zephyria lies in the very things that make it alien to us? As she began to explain her theory, a spark of excitement spread through the room. For the first time in weeks, a genuine sense of hope began to take hold. Little did they know, this moment of inspiration would lead them to their greatest challenge yet, and their last best hope for saving Zephyria. Amelia's revelation sparked a frenzy of activity in the research facility. The human and Zephyrian teams, once divided by their differences, now embraced them as potential solutions. Dr. Volkov and Zinra, who had clashed so fiercely before, now worked in perfect harmony, the contrasting approaches yielding unexpected insights. It's the crystalline structure of your bedrock, Dr. Volkov exclaimed, her eyes alight with excitement. It resonates at a frequency we've never encountered on Earth. If we can amplify that resonance. Zinra's colors pulsed with understanding. We could potentially stabilize the planetary core, but the energy requirements would be astronomical. Dr. Wong, overhearing their discussion, jumped in. What if we combine your quantum flux technologies with our fusion reactors? The power output could be enough to generate the field we need. As the scientists delved deeper into their work, Amelia found herself drawn back to her project with Lyrina. The Zephyrian historian had been making remarkable progress in digitizing their world's cultural heritage, but something was still missing. Lyrina, Amelia said, studying the vast database they had created, this is incredible, but it feels static. How can we make this knowledge come alive for future generations? The alien's colors shifted thoughtfully. In our tradition, knowledge is not just stored, but experienced. Perhaps we could adapt your virtual reality technologies to create immersive historical simulations. Amelia's eyes widened at the possibility. That's brilliant. We could create a living archive of Zephyrian culture. It wouldn't just preserve your history, it would allow people to live it. As they set to work on this new project, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. What had started as a mission to save a planet had evolved into something far more profound, a true exchange of ideas and cultures between two worlds. Meanwhile, Commander Chen and Xandar faced the daunting task of managing the planet-wide crisis. As more Zephyrians were evacuated from unstable regions, tensions began to rise. "We're running out of safe zones," Xandar reported, its colors a grim swirl of grays and blacks. "If we can't stabilize the course soon, we may need to consider more drastic measures." Chen's jaw tightened. "What kind of measures?" "There has been talk among some of my people of using our most powerful weapons to trigger a controlled cataclysm. The idea is to reset the planet's geological processes." "That's insane," Chen protested. "The loss of life would be catastrophic." Xandar's colors darkened further. "I agree, but fear is driving many to desperate thoughts. We must give them hope, Commander. Real, tangible hope." Determined to boost morale, Chen organized a public demonstration of the progress they'd made. In the central plaza of the Zephyrian capital, humans and aliens worked side by side to showcase their innovations. Dr. Tanaka and her Zephyrian counterpart unveiled a new type of bioengineered plant that could withstand the increasingly harsh conditions and help purify the atmosphere. Dr. Wong demonstrated a miniature version of the quantum fusion reactor, its cool blue glow drawing gasps of awe from the crowd. But it was Amelia and Liona's presentation that truly captured the imagination of both species. They invited volunteers to experience their virtual reality simulations of Zephyria's past. Aliens and humans alike found themselves walking through ancient Zephyrian cities, witnessing historical events, and experiencing the rich tapestry of an alien culture. As a young Zephyrian emerged from the simulation, its colors bright with wonder, it turned to its parent. "I saw our ancestors before the Great Migration. Our history isn't lost. It's right here." The mood in the plaza began to shift. Where there had been fear and desperation, now there was a cautious optimism. The sight of humans and Zephyrians working together, sharing knowledge and culture, had rekindled hope. Inspired by the public's reaction, the research teams redoubled their efforts. Dr. Volkov and Zinra made a breakthrough in their core stabilization theory, while Dr. Wong's team finally solved the power generation problem. As they prepared for their first full-scale test, an unexpected complication arose. The equipment needed to be placed at specific points around the planet, some in highly unstable areas. It would be incredibly dangerous work. "I'll go," Chen volunteered without hesitation. "I had the most training for extreme conditions." Xandar's colors shifted to a determined blue. "And I will accompany you. My people must see their leaders taking action, not hiding in safety while others risk their lives." As Chen and Xandar prepared for their perilous mission, Amelia found herself working closer than ever with Lyrana. The more time she spent immersed in Zephyrian culture, the more she came to appreciate its beauty and complexity. "You know," Amelia said one evening as they took a rare break from their work, "when I first came here, I thought our mission was simply to save your planet. But I realize now that we're doing something even more important. We're building a bridge between our worlds." Lona's colors shifted to a warm golden hue. "Indeed, Dr. Reeves. And in doing so, perhaps we are saving a small part of both our worlds." As they stood together, watching the twin moons of Zephyria rise over the troubled landscape, Amelia felt a profound sense of connection, not just to Lyrana, but to all of Zephyria. She understood now why the Zephyrians had reached out to humanity. It wasn't just their scientific knowledge they needed, but their spirit, their creativity, their ability to hope in the face of impossible odds. The next day, as Commander Chen and Xandar embarked on their dangerous mission, the research team made final preparations for the planetary stabilization attempt. The fate of an entire world hung in the balance, but thanks to the unprecedented cooperation between humans and Zephyrians, there was now a fighting chance. As Amelia took her place at the control center, she caught Lyrana's eye across the room. The alien historian's colors pulsed with a mix of anxiety and hope, an all-too-human combination of emotions that reminded Amelia of the universal nature of sentience. With a deep breath, Amelia turned her attention to the task at hand. The greatest challenge of both their worlds was about to begin. The air in the control center crackled with tension as Commander Chen's voice came through the comm system, distorted by static and the planet's increasing electromagnetic disturbances. "Team Alpha in position," he reported. "Xandar and I have secured the first stabilization node. Moving to the second location now." Dr. Volkov's fingers flew across her console, making last-minute adjustments to the core stabilization algorithms. "Power levels are holding steady," she announced. "We're ready to initiate the first pulse on your mark, Commander." As the team held their breath, waiting for Chen's signal, a violent tremor shook the facility. Alarms blared as new data flooded the screens. "This is bad," Dr. Wong muttered, his face illuminated by the red warning lights. "The planet's core is destabilizing faster than our models predicted. We're running out of time." Amelia felt a cold dread settle in her stomach. They had come so far, worked so hard. Could it all be for nothing? Lorna's colors shifted to a deep, worried purple. "Perhaps we should consider evacuation," the historian suggested softly. "If we cannot save Zephyria, we must at least save its people." Before Amelia could respond, another voice cut through the chaos. "No." Xandar's determined tone resonated through the comm system. "We have not come this far to give up now. Commander Chen and I are approaching the second node. We will not abandon hope." The alien counselor's words seemed to galvanize the team. With renewed focus, they turned back to their tasks, each acutely aware of the monumental stakes. As Chen and Xandar raced against time to position the remaining stabilization nodes, the situation on Zephyria continued to deteriorate. Reports came in from around the planet of new fissures opening, of entire regions becoming uninhabitable. In the midst of the crisis, Dr. Tanaka made a startling discovery. "The planet's unique biosphere," she exclaimed, her eyes wide with realization. "It's not just reacting to the geological instability, it's trying to adapt to it." This new information sent ripples through the research team. If Zephyria's ecosystem was attempting to self-correct, perhaps they could work with it rather than against it. As the scientists debated this new approach, a chilling message came through from one of the evacuation centers. A radical faction of Zephyrians, convinced that the human intervention was doing more harm than good, had taken control of a weapons facility. "They're threatening to launch a planetary bombardment," Xandar reported, its colors a turbulent mix of anger and fear. They believe triggering a massive cataclysm will force a natural reset of Zephyria's core. The control room erupted into chaos. The human team, already stretched to their limits trying to save the planet, now faced the prospect of hostile action from the very people they were trying to help. Commander Chen's voice cut through the pandemonium. "Dr. Rees," he said, his tone level despite the circumstances, "you've made the most progress in understanding Zephyrian culture. We need you to try to negotiate with the radicals." Amelia felt a moment of panic. She was a scientist, not a diplomat. But as she looked around at her team, at Lorena, at the visual feeds showing Zephyria's beautiful, troubled landscape, she knew she had to try. With Liona's help, Amelia established communication with the radical faction. On the view screen, she saw a group of Zephyrians, their colors pulsing with fear and determination. "I am Dr. Amelia Rees of Earth," she began, forcing calm into her voice. "I understand your fears, but please give us a chance to explain our plan." The leader of the group, a Zephyrian with stormy grey colors, responded, "Your interventions have only hastened our planet's decay. We must take drastic action to save what remains." Amelia took a deep breath, an idea forming. "Before you take any action, I ask that you allow me to show you something. It will only take a moment, and if you're not convinced, we won't stand in your way." There was a tense pause before the radical leader agreed. With a nod to Lorena, Amelia activated their virtual reality system, transmitting the historical simulations they had created to the weapons facility. For several agonizing minutes, there was silence. Then, slowly, the colors of the radical Zephyrians began to shift. When their leader spoke again, his tone had changed. What? What was that? He asked, a tremor in his voice. That was Zephyria, Amelia replied softly. Not just as it is now, but as it has been throughout your history. The triumphs, the struggles, the beauty of your culture, all preserved. We're not just fighting to save a planet. We're fighting to save this legacy, to ensure that future generations can experience the richness of Zephyrian civilization. The radical leader's colors swirled with conflicting emotions. But how can we trust that your plan will work? At that moment, Commander Chen's voice came through, tight with exertion. Final stabilization node in place. Dr. Volkov, we're ready for full power. Amelia turned back to the view screen. You're about to see. Please, stand down your weapons. Let us show you what humans and Zephyrians can accomplish together. There was a tense pause, and then the radical leader's colors settled into a cautious blue. We will wait, he said. But know that if this fails, we will take action to save our world, whatever the cost. As the radical faction stood down, Amelia felt a momentary relief, but she knew the real test was yet to come. Everything now hinged on the success of their stabilization plan. Dr. Volkov's voice cut through her thoughts. Initiating full power to all nodes. Brace for electromagnetic pulse in 3, 2, 1. A blinding light filled the control room as the stabilization nodes activated. The ground shook violently, and for a terrifying moment, Amelia feared they had miscalculated. Then slowly the tremors began to subside. On the main screen, data streamed in, showing the planet's core beginning to stabilize. A cheer went up from the human and Zephyrian scientists alike, but Amelia knew their work was far from over. They had won a battle, but the war to save Zephyria was still raging. As the initial euphoria subsided, a new alert sounded. Dr. Wong's face paled as he read the incoming data. We've got a problem, he announced, his voice grim. The stabilization process has triggered a chain reaction in the planet's mantle. If we don't find a way to contain it. He didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone in the room understood the implication. They had averted one disaster, only to potentially trigger an even greater one. As the team scrambled to address this new threat, Amelia caught Lara's eye across the room. The historian's colors were a mix of hope and fear, a sentiment Amelia felt echoed in her own heart. The battle for Zephyria's future was entering its most critical phase. The control room erupted into frantic activity as the team grappled with the new crisis. The stabilization of Zephyria's core had triggered unexpected seismic reactions, threatening to tear the planet apart in a different, but equally catastrophic way. Dr. Wong's fingers flew across his console, running simulation after simulation. The energy released by the core stabilization is causing a cascading effect in the mantle, he explained, his voice tight with tension. If we don't find a way to dissipate it, we'll see planet-wide volcanic eruptions within hours. Commander Chen's voice crackled over the comm system, strained but determined. What are our options? Can we use the stabilization nodes to absorb the excess energy? Dr. Volkov shook her head, her eyes never leaving her screens. The nodes weren't designed for this. They'd overload in minutes. As the scientists debated potential solutions, each more desperate than the last, Amelia found her gaze drawn to Lyrina. The Zephyrian historian's colors had shifted to a deep contemplative blue. Lyrina? Amelia asked, recognizing the look of someone on the verge of an idea. What are you thinking? The alien's colors pulsed with excitement. In our ancient histories, there are tales of a time when Zephyria faced a similar crisis. Our ancestors spoke of sky rivers that carried away the planet's fury. Dr. Tanaka's eyes widened with realization. The atmosphere. If we could create controlled channels in the upper atmosphere, we might be able to vent the excess energy into space. The idea sparked a flurry of activity. Dr. Wong and his Zephyrian counterparts began modifying their equipment to create the atmospheric channels, while Dr. Volkov worked to recalibrate the stabilization nodes to direct the energy upward. As the team raced against time, Amelia found herself working closely with Lyrina, using their virtual reality systems to model the ancient Zephyrian solutions and adapt them to their current crisis. "It's amazing," Amelia mused as they worked. "Your ancestors faced challenges just as great as this, and they found a way to survive. Now, thousands of years later, their knowledge might save Zephyria again." Lyrina's colors shifted to a warm, appreciative gold. "And it is the union of that ancient wisdom with your human innovation that gives us hope. Perhaps this is why the universe brought our peoples together." Their moment of reflection was interrupted by Commander Chen's urgent voice. "We're seeing massive energy buildups in sectors 7 through 12. Whatever we're going to do, it needs to happen now." With a shared nod of determination, Amelia and Lyrina joined the others in the final preparations. The plan was risky. They would have only one chance to get it right. "Atmospheric channels are in place," Dr. Wong reported, his voice tense. "Stabilization nodes recalibrated and ready," added Dr. Volkov. Sandar's voice came through, steady and resolute. "All Zephyrian systems are aligned. We stand ready." Commander Chen took a deep breath. "On my mark. 3, 2, 1, initiate." The room filled with a blinding light as the combined technologies of Earth and Zephyria surged into action. On the main screen, they watched as massive jets of energy began to stream from the planet's surface, following the carefully crafted atmospheric channels up into space. For several agonizing minutes, no one dared to speak. The fate of an entire world hung in the balance, dependent on the success of their desperate plan. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the readings began to change. The dangerous energy buildup in Zephyria's mantle started to dissipate, channeled safely away from the fragile planet. "It's working," Dr. Volkov whispered, almost afraid to believe it. Then louder, "It's working." A cheer went up from both humans and Zephyrians alike. On the screens, they could see the sky rivers Lyrina had spoken of, brilliant streams of light arcing from Zephyria's surface up into the star-studded sky. As the immediate danger passed, the mood in the control room shifted from desperate focus to cautious celebration. They had done it. Against all odds, they had saved Zephyria. In the days that followed, the full impact of their achievement began to sink in. The core stabilization, combined with the energy venting system, had not only averted disaster, but had actually improved Zephyria's long-term geological stability. As the planet began to heal, so too did the rifts between its people. The radical faction that had threatened violence now worked alongside the others in the reconstruction efforts, humbled by the power of cooperation they had witnessed. Amelia found herself standing with Lyrina on a balcony overlooking the Zephyrian capital. The city gleamed in the light of the setting sun, its spires reaching towards a sky now painted with the soft glow of the energy channels, a testament to what they had accomplished together. "What happens now?" Amelia asked softly, her eyes on the horizon. Lyrina's colors shifted thoughtfully. "Now we rebuild, we learn, and perhaps we explore the stars together." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Commander Chen and Xandar. "Dr. Reeves," Chen said, a rare smile on his face, "the Zephyrian High Council has made a formal request to Earth's governments. They're proposing a permanent scientific and cultural exchange program between our worlds." Xandar's colors pulsed with excitement. "Your people have shown us the value of diversity, of approaching problems from new angles. We believe that by continuing to work together, both our worlds can thrive." Amelia felt a surge of joy and hope. What had begun as a desperate mission to save a dying world had blossomed into something far greater, the beginning of a friendship between two vastly different, yet remarkably similar, civilizations. As she looked out over the Zephyrian landscape, now peaceful and full of promise, Amelia thought about the journey that had brought them here. They had faced impossible odds, confronted their own prejudices and fears, and emerged stronger for it. In the end, it wasn't just advanced technology or scientific knowledge that had saved Zephyria. It was the very things that made them human, and Zephyrian. Creativity, determination, the willingness to learn from each other and from the past. The ability to hope, even in the darkest moments. As the first stars began to appear in the Zephyrian sky, Amelia realized that their adventure was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. With two worlds united in friendship and common purpose, the possibilities were as endless as the cosmos itself. The future, once so uncertain, now shimmered with potential, and whatever challenges it might hold, they would face them together, humans and Zephyrians, united in their shared love of discovery, their thirst for knowledge, and their unwavering spirit of hope.